on him anymore. Like, I like the first movie, but I don't know if I like the first movie because it finally felt like there was an authenticity in the WB non-Batman stories. You know, Aquaman was like slightly better, but it had a horrible like inconsistent storyline, and Wonder Woman 1 was, you know, a huge divergence from what we had gotten from, you know, Justice League and all that stuff. So whenever we got Shazam, even that was still like back and forth on, are you guys like light or dark? Like, your CGI is terrible, but you just murdered a whole room of board people. But you're like, hey, so even with this, I feel they'll probably get a balance, but like I just don't feel. I feel like Shazam is a parody movie, almost like what it felt like with Thor. Like, it was like, yo, it's too parody. It feels like it's a parody. So matched up with Black Adam, like it's The Rock. The Rock doesn't play villains. He plays. He's a Will Smith. He plays anti-heroes. He plays charming badasses, or he plays no nonsense, charming. You know, but they're good guys with hearts of gold. I don't know if I can take a Black Adam that is going to be presented to me as the heart of gold, even though he should be ruthlessly efficient. Like, I should feel more Lex Luthor from him than I should feel, you know, literally any other. I don't know why I can't come up with one on the top of my head. So it doesn't give me faith. Also, to use Black Adam and Shazam basically as trying to now slowly become the centerpiece of your DC developing, you know, universe, since that, you know, Ezra Miller is certifiably insane. And, and so you have this Flashpoint movie that you're not even sure how to reset this whole Zack Snyder verse and remove it. Like, there's so many problems. And I think that people are literally just, I remember this the same way that they did with Batman v Superman, the time that Civil War was coming out. Everybody was like, oh, we're so tired of the Marvel trope. Oh, it's jokes and it's so levity. They're so family. Da-da-da. We can't wait for DC. Oh, this movie looks so good. And it wasn't. It wasn't. Because DC did not know how to do this right. And they're doing it again. Oh, man, you know, this movie looks so good, man. Like, compared to what we've seen with Marvel, like, Marvel is so, you know, they whitewash everything. And then you're going to sit and watch, and you're going to be like, yo, Marvel washes this. Washes it. Yeah. It's not even close.
Runs rings around it. Do you agree, JP?
Yeah, like, I don't see... Black Adam is not a hero, and it's just weird for me to see Black Adam like in his own movie, and you know he's going to be a hero or an anti-hero, but I don't see it. I mean, Rock's a great guy. I'm sure he's a great actor. Like, I like some of his stuff, but I just hope they didn't make a Black Adam movie. They just made him into this really, really bad guy. Like, for Shazam. Because that would have made more sense to me. But, you know, let's see where they're trying to go with this. The trailer.
I get what you guys are saying.
They're
Shazam,
probably lost.
So I really like the first Shazam. I really like the Shazam 2 trailer, particularly his last one about throwing buses at dragons. I thought, for whatever reason, that just worked on me. It just did. And I really liked the first Shazam, particularly, I guess, as a used to be a youth worker, all those orphans and stuff, that all worked on me. And I just thought it had the soul right. But I totally agree. So the Black Adam one, you know, we talked briefly about the first one. We said, well, there's not much really to say about this, except that we're worried about what we're worried about. And the second one did nothing to dispel that. It didn't really add anything to the first trailer. It didn't, like, we all get that first teaser. And really, that the Wakanda Forever is a teaser. There's no storyline in Wakanda Forever. But then the second one comes along. We get a taste, a feel, the tone of the film. The second one comes on, and we get a little bit of the hook of the story. But this thing, I still just seems to Black Adam just keeps beating that drum. That watch The Rock come and be, kind of bad, but really not that bad.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of,
don't like
and the concern, if I can read between the lines a little bit here, is you guys think he's going to do a Jennifer Lawrence to Mystique type thing, where a star is going to step into a role and says, well, I can't really be stepping into a really evil role because of my image. Let's lighten this up a bit. Let's put him into the anti-hero thing.
That's it.
And so
That's it.
And so I do agree with you. Having seen those two trailers, seen, Shazam sitting there on talking to his pediatrician or whatever, having a laugh about throwing buses, and then to see that the Black Adam, serious, almost going back to Zack Snyder DC stuff.
Right.
I don't see a natural coming together of those two worlds.
Right.
Where Shazam and Black Adam, and maybe Black Adam would have to get funnier and lighter. I can't see it working. Or if Shazam gets more serious, or loses that tone, it's going to lose its heart, right? I believe that's the. If Shazam's here and Black Adam is here, Black Adam has to come close to Shazam to work, because you'll just lose what's good about this. And I don't know if that's going to happen, because it's not in the DNA of the character. Shouldn't be coming that close. So I don't see how these two... That's a long way of saying I don't think these... I agree with you. There doesn't seem to be a natural synergy here between these two characters. The tones seem to be too different. And again, I mean, when DC is just doing their little... This is a good movie. That's a good Aquaman. That's a good one. Wonder Woman. It's doing okay. But as soon as they do the Ghostbusters thing, as soon as they mix the streams, then it's like, can't do. They're like a guy, can't do two things at once. Can't do two things at once. And unless they get someone in their organization who's prepared to really crack the whip and tonally and narratively work really hard at this. And it doesn't look like they've got that person. It was supposed to be Zack Snyder to play the Kevin Feige role. He was the one. I said, you might know who was trying to bring the streams together. But
I don't know if they have somebody yet, because it wasn't even Snyder. It was Jeff Johns. And Jeff Johns, thank God, got fired because he's so terrible. But I don't think DC has anybody. That's the interesting thing where WB Discovery is right now, because the guy that they just hired as a CEO is not a guy who makes money. It's a guy who saves money. And he saves money by cutting projects constantly, which is why it wasn't surprising to me why there was only 2 trailers for DC as opposed to more, because I don't expect them to. No, because again, they don't know what to do with Flashpoint, because they don't know what to do with the Ezra Miller thing. But at the same time, they probably will not spend money to do reshoots, because the guy is like, yo, WB has been so much debt right now. We need to save money. So I look, I'll say this. I think the Black Adam movie will probably be serviceably good. Why? Because it was a pet project, similar to Deadpool was to Ryan Reynolds. But I don't think it's going to give us anything new in terms of what we expect from a hero, expect from these kind of movies, because of the fact that one, it's The Rock, like I said, there's going to be an element of the image that has to be done. It doesn't matter what his movie, he's played the same person. And then 2, because of the fact that I think that they probably still had not as limited a budget as Deadpool, so they don't have the creativity strike. But I mean, I don't think that it has an interconnecting storyline outside the magic, and it'll be good. It'll be good in itself, but in terms of trying to build what they keep trying to imply, bring Superman in to do the weakness of Superman is Black Adam because he has the magic, without a Henry Cavill, and again, like we saw with Shazam, I actually am more worried about this Shazam because I feel like it has the potential of getting Wonder Woman 2 in it, where you had all the potential to build it up, and you just kind of did. And even think about it, the tones almost start off seem like they're about the same as it started with Wonder Woman 2 84, Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the trailers for Wonder Woman 84 were good. That's what made it so devastating when you watched it. It just lost its way almost immediately. So
kind of like the trailers now of Black Adam.
But you don't know, right? You just don't know until you sit down in that cinema and watch it.
Right.
But it's interesting you bring up the Pet Project, because the Pet Project also doesn't, for someone like Dwayne Johnson to come on and make something a pet project. Dwayne Johnson's an action star, right? He's great, he's fun. He's not a visionary. And if he's owning this as a pet project, it's then you've got to say, well, how does that plug into? How does what Dwayne The Rock Johnson do this project that is consistent with his brand, and then link it into? Because I think Deadpool is potentially complicated as well as a pet project of Ryan Reynolds to bring into the MCU. I don't think it should. I honestly don't think it should just have fun on the fringes there and just have a good time with it. I don't think it should be brought in at all, because it is a pet project.
But I think that's the thing. Like, I think that's the problem. You for something like Deadpool, you don't have a choice, because Deadpool already established itself as bringing in these other sides. So, like, from the fringes, utilizing like the X-Men. Like, we got the X-Men, but we also got like the good Juggernaut. And so, like, we understood that there was a connection.
The good Juggernaut.
But tonally, but it's not the character. It's tonally. It's just so not the rest of Marvel.
That's why I'm saying, like, I think it'll be, especially in the multiversal element, it has the potential to either super lift up or super drop off. There's nothing in the middle, because add that Deadpool component in with an Ant-Man and a Quantumverse where you have like, oh, I'm dropped inside this super weird, like different version of the MCU. Man, I talk about whatever the Fox people were. Hey, Professor X, who's black, or something I can see where the call outs can be very well uniform. And for what it's worth, Ryan Reynolds knows how to work with Disney. Did that with the he's done work. Is that Disney or WB?
The Adam Project.
Oh yeah, but no, Adam Project wasn't Disney. That was a Netflix production. That was a Netflix distribution. But it's, I think that Reynolds, at least, I trust that what it would essentially be would be almost similar to whenever they did that Venom inside Far From Home, where it was like, oh, this feels different. Something feels different here, and be able to call it out. But will we? I don't know. I feel like he can work. Because even in the Deadpool, outside of a certain level of blood, like, I don't feel like we lose anything. Like, I still want my butt jokes. Still do my poop and fart jokes, basically.
I don't think he can go as hardcore with that stuff as he did. I don't think he can do. And you think about how some of those jokes, man. Some of those sex scenes were R-rated all the way. And if he gives up on that.
Maybe not to that. But again, maybe he doesn't go back to that because he's already done it. So now the challenge works.
No, he's got to keep doing. It was like saying the boys dropping down, and let's actually make the boys more like, Captain, like Miss Marvel. I was like hell you are.
I am genuinely interested to see how this R-rated movie MCU works out, because as long as he's calling out like the difference, or like, you can actually cuss now, Falcon.
Yeah, in his universe it will. In his movies, in Deadpool movies, anything goes, right? But if Deadpool was to appear in Avengers 5 or 6 or 4 or 5, whatever, I just can't. Again, I can't see it.
I feel like it'll be funnier that if you take him out of his universe and drops down, where he's like wait, why can't I do the same thing as I did in my movie? Like, I know.
Yeah, I don't. That's not what those films are. It may be in She-Hulk, it might work, but see, even when She-Hulk goes in and joins the Avengers, I doubt she will break the fourth wall as well, because those are intense movies and they want you in that world, not because every time you go, unless you just you make the rule very early on in a film or a TV show that we're going to do Ferris Bueller here, we're going to break the fourth wall. Unless you do that, those films are intense. And can you imagine, Tony's I Am Iron Man? Oops, sorry everyone, I got this wrong. And then it would just take you out of the movie. But anyway, we are speculating. All we have to say now is DC is ready to take over from Marvel.
Yeah, totally. They've totally set the crumbs and pathways. I mean, the success that they have been having with their movies, outside of a spur here and there, Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad.
Well, I mean, they've been on a good run.
They've been on a good villain run. I mean, what they do with Amber Heard and Aquaman, they've been dealing with their controversies that Marvel has never actually had to deal with straight up.
No, Ezra Miller and Amber Heard. Ezra Miller and Amber Heard. They must have walked under I feel for them on that one, right? I do feel for them on that one. They did not know what they were getting into. Right. I mean, I do feel for them on that. Amber Heard's going to get eaten by an octopus in the first 5 minutes and just disappear.
I think they're actually spending money for the recast. They're like,
they've got Jar Jar Binks in there.
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe!
Subscribe!
Die. Oh, die.